The candidate they've chosen can't stay unfrozen. Video of the day comes to us from a recent Los Angeles campaign fundraiser where President Biden, yet again, froze in a geriatric trance. Luckily, a nice Kenyan man was able to guide him off stage. Roll it. Oh, boy. So we're to believe that Forrest Dump here is capable of serving another 4.5 years? No wonder it's mostly actors behind Biden. It's their job to pretend they're in a different reality. Yeah. But there was one bright spot.
When the president wins in November, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a sweet shout out in his victory speech for what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call.
I am so glad he's on their side. It's like, you know, when you hear it, you see a crime, you go, God, not make it somebody I know. All right, Emily, the White House is denying that he froze. KJP claimed that it was first a cheap fake, then a deep fake.
Ah, so now it's AI's fault.
It's AI's fault.
Everyone vote Biden.
Of course, if you question the validity of an election, they call you a denier. These people are Biden deniers.
You know, maybe if this was like the first time he froze, maybe you could get away with it. But he just did this at the G7 summit, where embarrassingly, the Prime Minister of Italy had to walk him back to the right direction. Like, hey, Biden, camera's over there. Now this is clearly a theme going on where he's starting to freeze. At what point will the left get the wake-up call to see not only physically, but he's mentally unfit to be president? And you don't have to love Trump, by the way, to see that he is incapable to be president. Like you said, the next 4 minutes he can't even get through. How are you going to do the next 4 years of this? And I hate making fun of him because I feel like it's elderly abuse. Like, shame on everyone who's forcing him to play this role. It's really abuse. He belongs in an old age home at this point.
It's like forcing your great-grandfather to drive you to and from a bar late at night because you don't want to get a DUI and he can barely drive, but you tell him you got to go to the pharmacy.
The Babylon Bee let an article out.
That's highly specific.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share,
No.
Gutfeld?
You're a bodyguard, former bodyguard, Tyrus.
Yeah.
Did Obama help Joe or hurt him by helping him?
I think that was the act of someone who's just tired of like.
Yeah.
When you have to, Obama had his time. Like, he has to campaign all over again for this guy. Let's not forget all the he did behind Obama's back while he was in office. Mm-hmm. So now, once again, he's being asked to come out and save the day. And I think maybe that was just, he's never going to come out and say, hey, this dude, obviously because he puts his party before country, but that was a little way to go, hey, this dude's not right.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just, because you can secretly help somebody off without letting anybody know you had to help him off.
Right.
Once he put his hand on his back, that was for everybody in the building to see.
He grabbed his arm.
Yeah, he had to grab his arm. But you can grab the arm and be like, hey, good job, let's go, buddy. But he had to be like, oh, nope. Let everybody and let him to the back. So I look at that as that's about the only solid that America's going to get from Obama when it comes to whether Biden's unfit or not. But again, it doesn't matter. He hasn't been running the country for these last 4 years. Whomever is getting these progressive things doesn't care if he's in a wheelchair, if he drools, if you got to feed him smushed bananas, whatever gets his ass through to November. If he gets reelected, he can drop dead. They don't care. They'll put it in whoever they want, or they'll get their policies done. So it's irrelevant to them. We're the only ones who seem to care about it.
Yeah,
they're fine with it.
Can you throw that video up again, just as he's walking away? You know, Charlie, they caught something on the mic as they were leaving, and Joe said to him that I loved you in Driving Miss Daisy.
I'm pretty sure that that did not happen. But
are you questioning my reporting accuracy,
yes,
Charlie?
Only in this case. But I'm sure you're correct about your grandfather. No, but Tyrus is exactly right. I mean, you know, politicians are experts at doing the smooth move where they walk up to somebody, slide your hand, point to somebody, then walk off stage. Yeah. But what happened was he walked up to him, and it was very obvious. He grabbed his wrist, and when he grabbed his, and this is true among dementia patients, they get startled. Yeah. And so if you look at it, he gets startled as he grabs his wrist and then goes full visiting angels on him and starts like walking him across the stage. And it's not until like halfway through that he then puts his arm around him and then acts like he's talking to him. But by then it was obvious. And the White House says that you know, the right is making these things up and doctoring the videos. It's not Democrats are doctoring, and the Washington Post, they're doctoring the videos by taking that moment where he grabs his wrist out. And I mean, that's the only doctoring going on.
Interesting. You know, Guy, when I heard this through a friend that immediately after Joe Biden claimed his watch was stolen.
Again, I think that was
what the hell is wrong with you?
Because old demented people always accuse people of stealing.
Part of dementia is blaming rich, successful black guys robbing you.
That's my explanation. Yeah. They're always saying the nurse stole is stealing my money.
Right.
And I know, because as a male nurse, I stole a lot. I used to just blame it on.
So much about your old job. You were elf on a shelf. No, I'm sorry. You were Santa Claus.
Elf on a shelf.
And apparently now you had another job. You were a male nurse. What a life you have led.
Yes. I was a male nurse in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Can I ask a question? Am I allowed to just pass on an answer?
Yes.
Can I pass after all that?
No, you can. I'm sure you have an opinion, Guy.
The one thing I will say is, think about the desperation of Karine Jean-Pierre and the White House communications staff, where they are reduced to pretending that unedited video that was taken by about 1,000 different people in that room was a deep fake and manipulated. It was not. You can say it's out of context. You can say it's not fair. It's being miscategorized. I don't think any of that's true, but at least make that sort of argument. A deep fake is a specific thing. And for her to blame this on deep fakery is actually literal misinformation. And it should be called out, and I'll hold my breath waiting for the media to do so.
Don't hold your breath.
We'll miss you.
All right, coming up, will a hoax about race land a Dem in last place?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.